brush this hair. I just woke up. It's 8:35 Hawaiian Standard Time. Oh, brother. Wait, first I'm worried about that. Hold on. Okay, good morning. I am still under the bridge. Today, I have a networking meeting. I've been building out my LinkedIn. I have 2 LinkedIns, one as an artist and one as like a Japanese teacher and the owner of my LLC, because I am a homeless entrepreneur. Things have been a little crazy, so I haven't had time. This is my daily miso, everybody. Hold on, let's switch this camera. Every morning, I put massive chunks of tofu, and this is seaweed here. And miso every day helps has probiotics in it, helps your digestion system, and has other nutrients in it. The whole country of Japan swears by it. It's kept them alive for multiple years. They live the longest. Have many, I guess, centenarians. But anyway, I've been on a diet for 2 months. Has it been 2 months? 3 months. In 3 months, I've lost 15 pounds. That's a lot. My latest weight at my pap smear was 150. And 150 is still overweight for someone who's 5'1". My goal weight is 135, 130. I can get to 125, but then it starts to be very difficult to maintain. So my comfortable weight is 135. And that, I'm sure, if I just keep... As soon as I stopped eating bagels and cream cheese and Eggos and all my processed breakfasts, I lost 5 pounds instantly. Hi, everybody. This is my window. It's beautiful. And this is a light that I broke off from a construction sign. This is my puppy. But this I'm going to fashion into my Christmas tree. Someone donated to my campaign for the first time in a month, I think. I've been driving around with this GoFundMe campaign on my car. And I started to give up because I can't really buy a car, because my plan was to get a newer used car at a dealership or something like that and finance it, but nobody will finance you if you don't have a permanent address. Or a job. Like, in their eyes, I don't have a job, even though I am self-employed, and once I get a vehicle, then I'll be more employed. I've had 3 interviews recently. 2 for minimum wage. 1 in Japanese. 2 in Japanese. 2 paying $20 and including driving. 1 paying $16, which is minimum wage in Hawaii. The very minimum that you can live off of, which is what I'm making now as a delivery driver. But you can't really make a lot of money as a delivery driver because they want you to work 8 hours for $120, and it's crazy. So gig economy work is really not good work if you're trying to do it full time. It's good work if you just do it on the side. But when you do the math, and like you have a $120 load of stuff to take from Best Buy and whatever, it takes you 5 or 6 hours. No, it takes me like 7 hours. So it's less than $20 an hour. Plus I'm using my own gas, so it's less than $20 an hour. Because you'd have to factor in $20 worth of gas. So about 100 divided by 7, which is not very well paid. What is all that? I don't know what that code is. Is that your name? Is that Arabic? My #1 fan. I don't know. Looks like... Not sure. But this is my daily ritual. I drink miso in the morning and sometimes matcha. But I love the mornings here. It's beautiful. First thing that I do is go out and get the sun. Hello, dogs! Hello, dogs! My cat used to be up there. This is the roof that I live under. Beautiful view. You want to try and take in the sun every day. That gives you serotonin at the beginning of the day. So you don't even have to stare directly at the sun. You can stare at the sun through the leaves. But you make sure that you greet the sun every day. Good morning. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. It's a new day. It's a new day. Look at, they cleaned out all of this area right here. There used to be trees all right there. Well, they're not really trees. They're actually invasive species. Like this stuff here. Stuff grows like wild here in Hawaii because it rains and then it's hot. So invasive species just go off and they're kind of like weeds. Things just grow like this, right? Things grow out of everywhere. I have to cut this down because, because when they were cutting over here, I used to be more covered. Nobody could see me. I could run here shirtless in the morning and then nobody could see me. But now I'm a little bit more exposed. And I think that the #1 rule of houselessness, homelessness is to not be exposed. You don't want to camp your tent on the street or in front of businesses because you'll be told to move right away. If you have a tent, you don't want to camp in a place where people can see you because they'll report you. People have seen me. And one time last year I was asked to leave, but it's pretty hard for them to enforce one person. I'm sure they could do it. For them to do a sweep, they take these big old dump trucks, or not dump trucks, these big garbage trucks. They give you 24 hours. And they hire all these guys to basically take all your tents and all your stuff that you leave after the 24 hours, and they throw them in the garbage truck, and they trash everything that you own if you didn't take it off. Like, I used to stay at the beach in Hawaii. I lived in Ewa Beach for 7 months. I've lived here for a year and a half. I mean, my day could be up at any moment, but a year and a half is a very long time. I do have a trespassing hearing on, I think it is the 29th. The 29th? Yep, of this month. And I was totally freaking out. But, where I was, do you see where that shopping cart is? Let's see. There, I was standing there. I was burning some garbage, and someone called 911. And and my fire wasn't out of control. It was just like something that I do all the time, right? I collect garbage, I recycle, I compost, I try to aloha aina. Not I try, I do aloha aina. I clean up the area, and before they cut all of those invasives down, I used to cut away them because they were covering the sidewalk, and me and my dogs couldn't walk on the street. So I think they just do that every year, and if they only do it once a year, then it totally, these big weedy like bushes, this crabgrass grows to be 6 foot tall, or it's not called crabgrass, it's called guinea grass. It grows like every day a foot every day. Can you imagine? So it starts to cover the sidewalk like very quickly. You no longer have a sidewalk. Sometimes it grows through the sidewalk. So they have very, very strong invasives here. I've been lately watching my sodium. Miso actually has a lot of sodium, but I don't think that I use sodium much throughout the day. So I've been like consciously trying to lose weight. I lost 15 pounds so far. I'm not smoking weed for the first time. On Saturday, I'll be 30 days clean from weed, which is a huge deal for me. I've quit drinking a long time ago. 4 years I've not drank. But smoking weed was basically something that I loved, and I used to cope with the stresses of poverty. But now I'm coping with the stresses of poverty by not spending $200 a month smoking weed. And that actually just alone feels better. Like, I've always wanted to do that because I knew that it was a habit that was expensive for me. It was one of my most expensive habits. And so, especially now, since I don't have like a driving job, a steady income. I do have a steady, I mean, it's an okay income. It's not like nothing, but it's only like $600 a month right now. I've been applying to more sustainable jobs, but yeah, while you're only making $600 a month, you can't spend $200 a month on weed. It's just not, it's not logical, right? But that wasn't my choice, that I couldn't really, you know. Here's my co-host. Come here, Tux. And now my co-host, Tux. That's Tuxedo. Come here, Tux. Oh, Mr. White wants to come in. This is my other dog, White. Hi, Mr. White. This is Tuxedo Schmeedo. She just like, she does this with her hands and with her nails, and it hurts. She like scratches my face like that. Look at that. Ow. Okay. It's crazy. She gets so excited. So excited. And then Mr. White, he likes to lick and kiss, but his tongue feels like sandpaper. Sandpaper tongue. So I have to tell him to stop kisses. Stop kisses, Mr. White. These are my babies, my kids. People can tell me to move at any time, but I really hope that I get to go to court for it, and I get a 6-month stay because I'm not ready, especially now since I lost my Lyft job. Really, things went down again. Things were going up and everything was becoming steady for a little while. That was almost 3 months ago. And now I've been trying to rebuild my self-employment income and all of that, but it doesn't happen right away. Then I was trying to see if my credit was good enough to finance a car. It wasn't. It might have been if I had a permanent address. I do have a permanent address. There's one thing that you can do as a houseless person to get a permanent address, because people will discriminate against you, banks and stuff, if you don't have a permanent address. So you gotta pick a friend to be your power of attorney. Like, they don't accept business addresses either. Sometimes they do. So a lot of homeless people have a social worker or some kind of a, place where they accept their mail, but it's not very private, and it's iffy. Like, I never really trusted that. Like, when I lived at a shelter, they would steal my mail, or it would take a really long time to get to me. So you're forever paranoid about whether or not, say, if you lose your... I live in Hawaii. This is Hawaii. This is Oahu, Hawaii. If you ever lose your driver's license, which is something that a lot of homeless people do, your stuff gets stolen all the time if you live around other people. As soon as other homeless people know where you live, then they start stealing from you. So that's why I try to keep this location secret, not just from state officials, but from other homeless individuals who will, steal whatever you have. Just like someone broke into my trunk and stole my dolly and my straps that I use to strap things to the hood, not to the hood, to the roof, so that I can, carry stuff using the Roadie app. Those are large loads. People need their light up Christmas stuff to put on their lawn and show their neighbors that they celebrate Christmas. I went to deliver last night, and everybody had this inflatable elf that's skiing in Hawaii, which is ironic and funny because we don't even have snow in Oahu. I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff is ridiculous. It's expensive. And yeah, how you gonna take from your own people? Exactly. So I wanted to, here's my Christmas decorations. La 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 la. But I am gonna make a better, someone gave me a tree actually, donated a big tree. I just have to put it up. And then I'm gonna put that on top of it as my star. I broke that off. I wanted to take it for months and months. It was laying flat on the street for 2 months. I didn't just opportunistically steal it. I was like, dude, that light is still good and it's been there for 2 months. So I'm gonna see if I can break it off. And I did. And so now I have a star for my tree. But I tried to put up these cheesy Halloween decorations just to mock the house people and the HOA people. People get into spending $400 on their Christmas and Halloween decorations. I mean, my theory is it's just kind of a show, look at me. It's a show. It's a new show of how much extra money you have to spend. Because people like me and my friends, we don't even have money to celebrate. We don't even, I try to let Christmas, pass me by and, think of all the things that are not materialistic, like my puppies and my fur family that I'm super happy for. I think of all the things, how can I be grateful during this very consumeristic, capitalistic holiday. I haven't had the money to celebrate in that way. I don't give presents to people because my friends don't really want. Yeah, no, I was saying that there is a team of people. That's why you can't live around other people. So if you live around other homeless people, then they can hire a team to do sweeps. But if you find a place in the forest or like a bridge like me that there's hardly any homeless. I mean, there's homeless everywhere, but you have to stay unseen and you can't be in encampments, especially since Trump probably gave more money for people to, he made it a proclamation or a bill or something where he's like, no more lawless homeless encampments, right? So people who are out in the open, like there was this bus that was out in the open and, you know, living their happy homeless life. And I was like, okay, that's not going to be allowed for very long. Nobody's going to allow that. Because it's out in the open and people are going to complain about homeless people living their lives because we have no class consciousness here in Hawaii. The state is for sale to the highest bidder, to the wealthiest bidder. Like Mr. Facebook owns half of Kauai and is building his own doomsday compound. He has underground tunnels and self-sustaining electricity and farm animals in case, like, you know, he has to just live off of slaughtering his own animals. And he has created a self-sustaining compound on this island that never belonged to him, that barely belongs to the indigenous Hawaiian people. The Hawaiian people struggle still. A lot of Hawaiians are homeless. And even if they had a dominant in Waimanalo Hawaiian camp that had kids and everything, and they did a sweep and threw everything away. And then another one, they gave them a right to stay for 6 months. So I'm hoping if I ever have that happen, that I have the right to stay for 6 months. Because check it out, I have been here a year and a half and I have a lot of stuff. If they ever gave me a 24-hour notice, I just would have to pack whatever I could into whatever truck I rented. I mean, I don't have a lot of money, so if I needed to put stuff in another storage, I'd have to rent a van or something. That would be like $200, and then I'd have to rent another storage space, which could be another $150 or $200. I don't really have even $400 saved up. I did a GoFundMe, and it produced $500 from my online friends, and I used that $500 to survive that last month, which, you know, I wasn't going to be able to buy a car for $500. And if I did buy a beater car for $500, it would be a mechanic special. I'm not a mechanic. If I try to even change, you know, fuses in my car, I mess it up. If I, you know, like, I'm not, like, I can try and watch some videos on YouTube and figure it out, but I'm definitely not able to fix my own car. My car right now, the fuel pump is wacky, is failing. And fuel pumps are $1,500. Fuel pumps are $1,500, and the transmission is like $3,500. So I'm not spending that kind of money on a 2014 car. I'd rather finance a new car when I have better credit. In 5 years, let's see, I'm 49 now, 54. So I figure that I'm only going to be houseless for another year, hopefully. I have an LLC. I'm a entrepreneur. I'm studying and going to different workshops on real estate. I am learning financial literacy. So hopefully in 5 years, I'll have assets, and I'll have not only the house that I live in, but another investment property that I'm getting rental income from. And I don't know, I have big dreams, and maybe I have magical thinking. Like, I thought I could buy a car, but I couldn't. But I think that's only because I didn't have, you know, the things in place. Like, I could have gotten a permanent business address and worked to do that, but I didn't have, like, you can rent a business address, but it costs like $80 a month. They don't accept P.O. boxes. So currently my address is a UPS store. And that's not good for applying for financing of any kind. It's also not good for, like, you know, renting an apartment or whatnot. So I still need a social worker or a program of the state to help me get into, like, normal housing. But I've been building my business so that I don't have to go that route, because I watch dogs, and I have 4 dogs. And so nowhere in Hawaii, except in Big Island, where you have your own land and goats and stuff, will you be able to rent. You can have 1 dog, maybe, but not 4 dogs. And my dogs are basically the way that I've healed my attachment trauma from my family. And so I'm not really going to abandon my dogs in order to be housed. So I have principles around, I have lots of principles around animals and around, like, how I really believe that I'll be wealthy, you know, not in 5 years, but I'll be taking more and more steps to establish wealth. I'll have more assets. One asset that I have, of my many of my bills that I pay, is I have a $25,000 death benefit and life insurance, which I learned about through, you know, learning about financial literacy, that I don't want to be poor or homeless when I'm old. And so I looked into different life insurances and different asset classes, and you can get a living benefits life insurance policy. So that if someone kills me, even right now, I have a benefactor who will have $25,000 to figure out what to do with my dogs and also pay for my cremation. So I feel like, and if I get, like, a stroke and become, like, you know, 50% incapacitated, then I have living benefits that I could be paid. I'll be paid living benefits if I'm almost dead, basically. Or if I get cancer or whatever and I can't work, my minimum wage jobs. No, I'm actually, like, I was smart before I became homeless. The reason why I went into my shadow and my rock bottom was to really focus on healing my childhood trauma. Many people are homeless because of childhood trauma. And I was a sex worker for 20 years or something like that. And I knew that childhood trauma and doing sex work were related, and I wanted to retire from sex work eventually. So I had to figure out what I was going to do when that was going to stop, and how I was going to transition out of that lifestyle. And I did. And also, I was looking to have a human baby. But I never got a human partner to have that human baby with. And so I started getting dogs. And I didn't mean to have this second litter of dogs, but we did. And I'm not into abortion. So when I found out that, I mean, and the gestation period for dogs is only 3 months. So you can't really, you know, like, decide. You don't have a lot. Exactly. You don't have a lot of time to plan. What are you going to do? I didn't really want the second litter because the first litter I had while I was homeless on the beach, and it was really difficult. One of my puppies died of parvonucleosis, which is really like the equivalent of someone, if you used to watch Walking Dead or any zombie movies, like when they turn into a zombie, it's an internal it's a infection that hits right away, and they have 3 days to live basically, and they start shitting and throwing up blood, and it's so sad to watch. It's really traumatic. So it really reminded me of a loved one turning into a zombie. And that's basically what happened to one of my puppies. And when my puppy died of parvo, in the backseat of my car, and I buried her. Then I just basically surrendered the rest of the pups because I wanted them to be healthy and live. But you know what shelters do when there's a possible infection? They usually euthanize them all. And I don't know. They won't tell me either. So once you surrender your dogs, they won't tell you what they did with them, if they killed them or not. But I was living on the beach in a tent, and I couldn't emotionally deal with raising the rest of the litter, and I just didn't want to kill any more of the puppies, basically. Because you get parvo by just like touching another dog shit who's not vaccinated. It could be from a dog or cat, and there's a lot of dogs and cats in that area. Tons of feral cats in Hawaii. So I try not to think about that first litter, and I like to think of the spirits and souls of animals as reincarnating. I lost one of my orange cats named Tycho, and I remember when I was still like deep in my wounding, I asked the universe to just bring my Tycho back, and then like crying to the sky kind of thing, you know, because I was so attached to that orange cat. And then suddenly another orange cat appeared, a male, and he became my new orange boyfriend. And then that cat disappeared when I moved here. But his sister is still with me, and she is in that cat coop. But because there's other feral cats here who are kind of stalking her, she hides out for like a month. And then she'll come back when those other cats are gone. So I do her vaccinations, and I feed her when she comes around, but I think she doesn't feel safe here, so she has hidden out in her alternate place, which I don't know where that is. But anyway, so I'm building up a business so that I can have sort of a warehouse or a live workplace where I can have kennels and watch dogs, and that'll be my business. Because that'll be the only way that I can keep my family together. I won't be able to rent a regular house with 4 dogs. And I want to have more than 4 dogs. I want to have many dogs and many cats. So maybe the Big Island would be better, but that's where I see myself in 5 years. And I'm constantly studying, you know, financial literacy and investing even, and how to, you know, make myself not get into the situation that I'm currently in. Because financial literacy was something that I didn't have when I was a child, when I wasn't, they don't teach you that in undergrad. They don't teach you that in graduate school. You know, they don't care. They want to keep you ignorant so that you'll pay the tuition bill, so you'll get the loan, so you'll have that dream that college will make you a better person. But the only thing that really, really makes you a better person is financial literacy, I think, because it's something that you need, and they want to keep you ignorant. They want to keep you unconscious, right? So that you end up homeless and you become part of the untouchable class. Like in Hawaii, we are the untouchable class. Like, and class consciousness is so low here that people are able to like yell at us, and like, you know, you could go missing or you could be killed, and serial killers stalk homeless people, you know, because people think that nobody cares for them. You know, there's people who will miss me, especially if I don't keep up my posting. Like, people will look for me. People will say, oh, you haven't posted, like when I'm really sick. You know, not like just my friends, mostly in California, but don't ask me why I don't really have good friends in Hawaii. Could be the class consciousness, I'm not sure, but I have certainly tried. I need to go because I have a meeting at 11 a.m. and it is 9:10 Hawaii Standard Time, and this has been a 30-minute live show. Please subscribe, donate something to my GoFundMe, or become one of these top fans. Then that gives me $3 a month or something like that. That would be helpful. Put your hands together in this position in front of your heart every day, and you will feel balanced and in touch with spirit. This is the Namaste position. This is what Japanese people also do when they eat. Itadakimasu, right? But this is your right and your left, balancing your male and female sides. Breathe in the sun every morning so that sunlight gets in your eyes. You get serotonin that way. Listen to the roosters, listen to the birds. That's what you can be grateful for if you live outside. See you again.